Let's see how to create a campaign list. Go to the Reports page. Scroll down and click Campaigns. In this Campaigns page, there are 4 sections to note. This is the section 1, where all saved campaigns will be listed in the period as specified by the from and to dates. In this section 2, the criteria to pull out patients into campaigns are managed. The criteria list is hidden by default, and can be displayed by clicking Criteria Edit. In this section 3, the period to pull out the patients from is specified. In this section 4, the patients list is created by using the criteria set, as saved in section 2, and the period, as specified in section 3. When this list is created, it will be available in section 1. Let's create a criteria set in section 2. By default, the criteria list is hidden. Click Criteria Edit to show all the criteria. These are the available criteria, 1 to 20. A criteria set may have 1 or more criteria. To save a criteria, specify the parameters for the criteria and click S to save into the criteria set. When the criteria set is used to pull out patients, patients that fulfill all the criteria in the criteria set will be pulled into the list. Clicking All will list all saved criteria sets. In this example, these are the criteria sets previously saved. These sets can be edited or deleted upon selection. Let's save a new criteria set. Enter the name of the criteria set here. In this example, we will create a criteria set that will pull out patients aged between 40 to 60 years old, so we name this set age 40 to 60. At criteria number 5, we specify 40 to 60 years. And click S to save this criteria into the criteria set. Now we have successfully saved criteria set age 40 to 60 and will be listed here to be selected as the criteria set. Let's go through some of the criteria. In criteria number 1, you can specify the total, average or minimum spending that will qualify the patients to be included in the campaign. If no charges is ticked, only patients that have 0 charges will be considered. Ticking new patients, with visits, only will list first-time patients. For criteria number 2, if any injections or medicines are specified, only patients that have taken these specified injections/medicines will be considered to be listed. The injection/medicine can be searched and selected here. Selected injection/medicine will be listed here. Multiple injections/medicines can be selected. To add more, search and select here. The selected injections/medicines will be listed here. To remove this injection/medicine from this list, click X. If all time is ticked, patients that have taken these injections/medicines at any time will be considered to be included in the list, even if taken out of the period specified in section 3. Otherwise, they will be considered only if the injections/medicines are taken within the period specified in section 3. This is section 3 where the period to pull out patients from is specified. Note that for every criteria, it will only be saved into the criteria set if S is clicked. Criteria number 3 works the same way as criteria number 2. For criteria number 4, the frequency of visits can be specified. Either frequency above or lower than what is specified can be used. To pull out patients that have not visited for the period as specified in section 3, tick No visits. For criteria number 5, if birthday on current day is ticked, only patients with birthday on the current day will be considered. The current date is the date that the campaign is populated in section 4. Races can be specified in criteria number 6. To enter a race, select the race from the drop-down box and click Select. The selected race will be listed here. Repeat the same to add more races. To remove from the list, click X. Note that nothing is saved into the criteria set until S is clicked. For criteria number 8, there are two parts, one for email and another for phone. Here in allowed prefixes, you can specify the phone number prefixes that will be considered. In this example, only patients with phone and with numbers starting from 012 and 013 will be considered. This field is optional. Criteria number 9 works the same way as criteria number 2. Only patients with a specified diagnosis will be considered. For criteria number 10, only patients with the keywords specified here, as recorded in any visits history/examination, will be considered. For criteria number 11, you can specify the payment modes of the patients as criteria. You can also search and select panels here. Multiple panels can be listed. If panels are listed here, only patients billed under these panels will be considered. And remember, this criteria is not saved until S is clicked. In criteria number 12, patient's blood pressure can be used as criteria. If all time is ticked, patients fulfilling this criteria anytime will be considered, not just within the period specified in Section 3. In this example, patients with systolic pressure below 100 will be considered. Criteria number 13 works the same way as criteria number 12, BP. If selected, only patients that have done the selected investigations will be considered. Note that if any of these investigations are done under group/package investigations and not mapped to individual investigations, they will not be counted. Criteria number 15 works the same way as criteria number 2. Criteria number 16 works the same way as criteria number 2. If saved as yes, the linked patients along with the qualified patients will be considered as well, e.g. siblings, parents. If saved, only patients with loyalty points more than what is specified here will be considered. Here you can include patients from previous campaigns whether or not they fulfill the criteria in this set. The previous campaigns can be searched and selected here. The selected campaign will be listed here. If the patients in this criteria were also included in the previous campaign selected here, the patients will not be considered. The previous campaigns can be searched and selected here. This is Section 4 where patients will be pulled out according to the criteria set specified. Select the criteria set here. Before the patients list can be created, you must specify the period in Section 3. This means all patients fulfilling the criteria set within 1 month before 17th of July 2020 will be listed. Once the period is specified in Section 3, click Populate. This is the list of patients fulfilling the criteria set. Note that at this point, this list is not saved yet. As the patients list can be long, they are paged. Use these arrows to move between pages. If any of the patients are to be removed from the list, tick this checkbox. The ticked patients will not be included in the campaign when Create is clicked under Create New Campaign at the bottom. Once confirmed, this list can now be saved into a campaign. Specify the name of this campaign. Specify notes to identify this campaign. Select the action for this campaign. And click Create to save this list as a campaign. To check/list the campaign we have just saved, specify the period. In this example we click this year. Click Find to list all campaigns in this period. This is the campaign that we have just saved. This campaign list can be imported by another clinic if this is set to public. To change, click Private and it will change to public. To change back to private, click Public. This is the number of patients in the campaign. To start messaging, click SMS All to open the SMS box. Enter the SMS message here and click Queue to send. The SMSs will be sent in batches and depending on the quantity, this may take up to an hour. Clicking SMS All will close the SMS box. Click View to list the patients in this campaign. This is the campaign with the patients listed. Clicking Criteria Used will show the criteria set. The criteria used in the criteria list will be listed here. The status of this action, in this example SMS, is shown here. For SMS, this status is automatically updated depending on the success of the SMS delivery. For actions other than SMS, this status can be manually changed by clicking Pending. This sign indicates that the field has duplicates. To see the field, click. As the list can be long, they are paged. Click these arrows to move between pages. You can also import campaign from other connected clinics. The campaign in the connected clinic must be marked public in order to be imported. Click Add from Branch. Select the connected clinic in branch. Click List Campaigns to list all the campaigns marked public in the connected clinic. If there are campaigns marked public, they will be listed here. Select the campaign to be imported here. After selecting a campaign, click this button to import the patients list into this campaign. To close the campaign import box, click Add from Branch again. To recap, this is section 1 where campaigns can be listed. SMS and other actions are done here. This is section 2 where criteria sets are managed. If you are creating patients list using existing criteria set, this section is not used. This is section 3, the period from when the patients list is pulled out. This section must be filled before using section 4. This is section 4 where patients list is generated using selected criteria set. The criteria set is selected here before clicking Populate. Once the patients list is populated and the campaign saved, the campaign can be managed here in section 1. That's it. You're done.